our final speaker this afternoon, fiery final speaker, is Myra Strober, a member of the Mills College Board of Trustees, Professor Emerita at Stanford University, and founding director of the Clayman Institute for Gender Research.
Thank you. Before I start, can we find out for a minute who you all are? How many of you are students?
Clap. Give us a
Yeah, give us a
audio.
clap. That's a good idea. Okay. How many of you are alums? It's always good to know who you're talking to. Okay. All right. What I want to say today is that combining work and family, learning how to combine work and family as an individual, as a family, and as a society is the key to women's success. Because women are getting more advanced degrees, and they're making it through the glass ceiling, but they're not moving into leadership roles in the way that you would expect based on these advanced degrees, and women don't have salary parity with men. So this is a half-full, half-empty glass situation. You can talk about the tremendous progress women have made with regard to salaries, or you can talk about the fact that still women earn somewhere between 78% and 80% of what men earn. The reason why women are not moving into leadership, or one reason, certainly not the only reason, why they're not moving into leadership positions and why there is what we call a leaky pipeline. So we start the pipeline with undergraduate education and graduate education and moving into the workforce, and then something happens. What is that something? It's a baby. It's a baby, and it doesn't matter whether the baby is in a husband-wife family, whether it's in a cohabiting family, whether it's in a family with a man and a woman, or two men or two women. I have in my class, I have, families that are headed by two men. I have those speakers come, and they say they have the same problems that women and men have, in heterosexual families. Somebody has to be responsible, or several somebodies, for raising that child. And so the leaky pipeline is that women are having difficulty combining work and family. And as I said before, men are beginning to have this difficulty as well. But more women than men have it, because many men are still saying, I'm going to be the breadwinner, you be the homemaker. How to combine work and family? I want to give you what I think is a 5-part strategy. And it's a strategy not just for the family, it's a strategy for all of us, including Mills College, and I'll come to that in a minute. Who you marry or partner with is the most important career decision you're going to make. And when I say this to my class, and there are some people who are already married, they get a little nervous. But I tell them they should use their negotiation skills. They should work on this partnership. You have to share housework and childcare with your spouse or partner. If you, or the woman, or the man, I guess, think that you are the primary parent and nobody else can do it as well as you, and you criticize when your partner puts on pajamas that have stripes on the top and polka dots on the bottom, you're not going to succeed in your career. Because if you take on sole responsibility for raising these children, you are not going to have energy to succeed. Not in today's workplace. Now, we'll talk about changing the workplace, but right now the workplace is what it is, and we have a 9% unemployment rate. And 19-year-olds who think that they're going to change the workplace, unfortunately, are generally incorrect. Okay. Don't drop out. Don't drop out unless everything else fails. And some people think that dropping out is an individual decision. I get to make my choice. And yes, you do get to make your choice. But it isn't the case that your choice affects only you. Not only does it affect your family, but it affects other women. It affects the pipeline. If you're a senior woman and you drop out because you can't figure out how to combine work and family, and your organization, work organization, is not helping, then all the junior women below you have just lost a major role model. Not only that, but medicine fortunately has figured out how to have physicians combine work and family. Physicians now work part-time on a regular basis. But this is not true in business, and it's not true in law by and large. And so all of these potential role models and leaders are leaving the workplace. And if you look at the census data, who is leaving the workplace? Educated women and very uneducated women. Very uneducated women because they can't find jobs. Very educated women because they tend to marry or partner with highly educated men who earn a lot of money, and the family can afford to have one income. And so the woman drops out, especially if she's married to someone or partnered with someone who has what I call a killer career. If you have a spouse who's traveling to Hong Kong every other week and London every week, once a month, who is going to mind the store? Who is going to raise those children? Well, one possibility is a grandmother, and some people, especially some of my Chinese students, do that. They bring a grandmother in as a third parent. But barring that, the woman may have to leave the workplace because two people can't have killer careers and raise children. So now we go back to look at who you're going to marry. If you want a killer career, you better not marry somebody who also wants a killer career. Or else you better not have children. Okay, change your workplace. Work to make your workplace more flexible. And here, you have to have some clout to be able to do that. And hopefully in the Q&A session we can talk more about this. But changing the workplace is not a one-person job. You know, we all kid around, every woman has a letter in her desk that she would like to send to her CEO, saying, you know, what a terrible place this is to work, and, you know, how we should change the workplace in this way or that. You better not send that letter. You better get together with other people and do something collectively if you want to change the workplace. Change public policies. I already said we're the only major industrial country excuse me, that doesn't have paid maternity leave, let alone paid parental leave. Well, how are we going to get this conversation started? And how about childcare? The problem with childcare is that people only have childcare responsibilities for a few years. Then their kids grow up and they forget about childcare. So we don't have a big lobby trying to get childcare. I mean, imagine if we had the equivalent of the AARP for childcare. You know? We would have had it years ago. But we don't have anything like that. We have a lot of work to do. Merely increasing the number of women getting advanced degrees is not enough. We have to ensure that our society knows how to use people with these degrees. And right now, I think we're flunking. We're losing tremendous numbers of women. And when I talk to women who are currently somewhere between 45 and 50, whose children have now either gone off to college or graduating from high school, and they want to come back into the workforce, they want to come back into a workforce with 9% unemployment, they're not having much success. What are we doing to help them? What are we doing for students to tell them what the dangers are of dropping out of the workplace? I mean, I'm all for giving people free choice to drop out. And I'm also not for judging people who drop out, because I always say to my students, you don't know what's going on in someone else's life, and they're not about to tell you either. So before you judge somebody who drops out, you know, step back and say maybe they have made the right decision. But I want women and men who drop out of the workforce, and now some men are full-time dads, so they're dropping out too. They're not going to have an easy time coming back in either. I think we have to figure out how to have both men and women stay in the workforce, raise children, and be productive and use their education. I'm an economist. We've made tremendous, tremendous investments in people's education. We lose much of that investment. I'm not saying that staying home with your children doesn't utilize your skills. It does. But staying home full-time means you're not productive in the workforce, and you lose a lot of the investment we've made. Tell you the truth, one of the things I'm afraid of is that if this continues with large numbers of women who get MBAs and law degrees dropping out of the workforce, those schools are going to start asking, do we really want to reserve a place for women who are going to drop out? I'm not saying they're doing that now. I've not heard that at all, but that worries me. Now, if you ask me, do I think it's a woman or man's moral responsibility to stay in the workforce when they get an advanced degree? No, I don't. I don't, because the workforce needs to make it possible to stay. And right now, in many cases, they make it impossible. But I want us to change that. Thank you.
Thank you.